9:06. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Erickson Gold, Joliet,
Here.
Kirshenson,
Here.
Hughes is absent with notice. Nelson, Taylor. Here. Hoffman,
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Who hasn't done it in a while? Commissioner Gershenson, would you kindly lead us today in the pledge?
Yeah. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would entertain a motion to approve minutes dated April 22nd, 2025, moved by Commissioner Joliet, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Our minutes have been approved. I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda, moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Gershenson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Our agenda's been approved. We've got one communication item today. It's a grant acceptance from Parks and Recreation. Any questions about this item for our dear Parks Department folks? Questions?
Nope.
Seeing no questions, let the record reflect that the application's been received. It's very nice and easy. We've got one presentation today, and I'm thrilled to introduce Susan Holiday, who will give us an update on Acorn to Oak, a great program that I love. Susan, the floor is all yours.
All right, good morning, everyone. I am Susan Holiday, the Executive Director for Leadership Oakland, and also the Administrator for the Acorn to Oak Youth Grant Program. And I don't know how to do this, so
I'm pulling it up right now.
all right, you're gonna do that, okay? And I'm gonna keep my notes so I don't miss anything. How is everyone this morning?
Good. Not as caffeinated as I'd like to be. We'll get
Need to work on that.
I'm working on it.
Well, I had a 1.5-hour tennis match last night at Bloomfield Tennis, and so I did not get home till after 10, so.
Good for you.
But I played competitive tennis in the region, and so I had my first summer
Did you
USTA match last night.
wow. Yes, did you win?
I did.
What rank, what are you, 4-0?
I'm a 4-0,
4-0?
yeah. So I play out of Lifetime Fitness,
Yeah.
and we had a match at Bloomfield Tennis. So-
cool.
Marsha wants to play you after this.
Oh, all right, all right. I've been playing for 20 years. I started when I was 40, so.
Wow.
But anyway, to the real subject, which is this Acorn to Oak Youth Grant Program. And I'm excited to give you an update today on everything that we've been doing for the last year. So as you probably remember, in March of 2023, Dave Coulter announced it at the State of the County. In May of 2023, it came in front of the commissioners for approval and was approved for $250,000 for the first year. In October, we signed a contract between Leadership Oakland and Oakland County, and we got to work. So between October and January, we launched a brand new website from scratch. In February, we held a press conference, and then in March 15, 2024 was our first deadline for applications. In October of 2024, our contract had expired, so we have renewed that contract with Oakland County for another 3 years to run the program for them at $100,000 a year for the next 3 years. So that's a little bit of the history. So some of the details, if you remember, this is open to any youth living in Oakland County, ages 8 to 18 years old. There's 4 focus areas, which I'll get to in a minute. Applications are actually received all year round, and we have 4 review periods, which are every quarter, to actually sit down and review the applications. We have a steering committee. It's changed a little bit since the beginning when Hillary Chambers started this. This is our current committee, so with Megan Sellers from Deputy's Office. We got Mike McKinstry. I don't know if you know Mike. He just joined our committee. He's a 40 under 40. He has a TV show called Bass Squatch Hunter, fishing out of water. If you ever want to go check it out, it's awesome. He has a strong passion for youth. And actually his goal someday is to have a youth foundation. And so he's been a great addition. We just added him to the committee. Of course, we got Commissioner Johnson, who's been there since the beginning. We had Commissioner Ajay Raman, initially, and Commissioner Powell has taken his place on the committee. And I have two board of directors, Rosanna Hall and Rachel Hurst. Rosanna is with GM and Rachel Hurst is with Kroger, although she just got a promotion, is leaving my board. So we will be replacing her with another board member from Leadership Oakland for our committee. So that's our committee, and they meet quarterly to actually review all the applications and decide which ones we're going to award. So let me show you, this is the fun part. So let me go through the 4 focus areas and quickly tell you some of the award winners from last year. So we have Matthew, he's 11 from Troy, has started his own lawn mowing business. So he got a grant, he spent all last summer marketing and actually did lawns all last summer and is continuing his business. We have Allie here, who's 12 from Clarkston. She was diagnosed with celiac when she was 4 years old. And so her mission was to find something that was gluten-free. She has started the Blissful Baker business and is doing her gluten-free baked goods. We have Phoebe. Phoebe is 8. She has been collecting rocks since she was 3 years old. And she now takes her rocks and she makes jewelry and keychains and all sorts of really fun things. She goes to her farmer's market in South Lyon and sells her products. And she's 8. And then we have Nyla.
Phil.
Nyla has written books. She's 11 from Rochester. She is writing a new book and using her grant for that called Stranded in Candyland. So that is for our entrepreneurs. That's our first focus area that people can apply for an application under. And those are 4 of our award winners.
Cool.
Our next focus area is for the community. How do you youth that want to go back to their communities and do something. So we have Elin, she is 9 from Ortonville. She wanted to create care packages for the families that were impacted by the Oxford shooting. So she used her grant to purchase all these wonderful items and she gave those to families in Oxford. And again, she's 9. Shariah is 10. And he lives in Troy. He is developing an app. And so he learned how to program and is developing an app. It's for healthy eating for kids. And he's already got some screenshots and some part of the application already. And we're trying to set him up with a mentor to continue to even further develop that. And then we have Taylor, who's 12 from Waterford. And she has a nonprofit called Slay for Smiles. And what she does is she purchases toys and takes them to local hospitals for kids that are in the hospital during the holidays. So those are 3 of our community impact winners. And then next is educational. We have Abu. Abu is 18 from Pontiac. He helped create the National Society of Black Engineers for Oakland County. He's currently the president of that organization and had the opportunity to go to Chicago with other individuals that run that organization in other communities. So that's Abu. And then this is Delcia. She's 9 from Beverly Hills. And what we've done this year is we decided we were getting a lot of applications for robotics teams and we wanted to help them. So we are giving small grants to a certain number of robotics teams based on what they come forward with. This group is actually went to the World Champions here in April, and we're only doing 10 a year. So we put those criteria in place and we'll use that moving forward. So that's some of our educational. And then extracurricular. So we have Josie, who's 17 from Troy. Her goal is to be part of the DSO one day. So she had an opportunity to go to an oboe camp and be world-renowned oboist, which I did not know was a word. And she actually is keeping in touch with one of the individuals she met, one of the oboists at the conference, and continuing to keep in touch. And the next step for us is to introduce her to the DSO and make that dream hopefully come true for her. And then we have Ben, who's 14 from Lake Orion, another robotics team that we're able to help go to championships in Houston. And finally, we have Jolie, who's 13 from Waterford. She was invited to join a soccer team in Virginia to represent the US and got to go to the Gothia Cup in Sweden. So those are some of our extracurricular award winners from last year. I just wanted to share that. It's nice to see a picture and a story of what the money that you guys have authorized for us to spend is doing. But we also track statistics. So this is our first year, and we actually received in the first year 113 applications, and we awarded 71 grants. And this is the breakdown in those four focus areas. Statistics for locations. We actually were able to award grants for 25 communities in Oakland County. And one of the things we learned during this process, if you look at South Lyon, they actually have a young entrepreneurs market in the summer. And I was able to meet with the individual who runs that market. We're finding others of those in the community that have these young entrepreneur markets. And we will continue to search them out and get information to them and keep close contact. But these are all the communities that we touched in 2024 with the grants that we gave out. We also keep track of age. So that's the age breakdown. We gave out 3 grants to 8-year-olds. I wasn't doing that much when I was 8 years old. I don't know about you. And then here is our breakdown for gender. So we do ask that on the application. And then finally, we have our ethnicity breakdown. So that's kind of a recap of 2024. Just wanted to bring you up to speed of what we've been doing here in 2025. On April 8th of this year, we actually held a reception for all of those award winners. We had 32 winners and their families attend. It was a very nice reception. I'm going to show you a couple pictures from that in a minute. April 15th, we just got done reviewing our March 15th round of applications. The next deadline, and I do have flyers, so if anyone wants to take a flyer and knows of a youth, the next deadline is June 15th. So we still have time for that. And we really have been getting out in the community. So I have an opportunity, I've interviewed a couple times on Civic Center TV. I've interviewed with Oakland Schools as part of their Leading Ways. I also had an opportunity to do a phone interview on WJR. And then finally, and this is a key one, we did a press release and the Detroit Metro Times decided to pick it up. They put it on the front page of their website and they put it throughout all of their social media. And I'm gonna give you some statistics in a minute here. Well, I'll give it to you right now. So I told you last year we had 113 applications received. In this quarter, we had over 250 applications received based mostly on what Detroit Metro Times did. Now, 114 of them were either too old or didn't live in Oakland County, so those were removed. But we just recently reviewed 145 applications this quarter. Brendan, that was painful, wasn't it? Exciting, but it was intense. And I'm happy to say we are awarding right now 46 more grants for youth from this quarter. And I've had the opportunity in the last 3 days to contact the families or the individual and give them the good news. So we'll be awarding those grants. And then one of the things we have done is at 6 months, follow up with them, get some testimonials, some pictures, and just kind of touch base with how their project's going and how we can continue to support them moving forward. So that's one of the things that we actually have put in place. One of the things I don't have on here, just to give you from a financial perspective, in 2024, we awarded just over $40,000 in grants. And for this quarter alone, just over $28,000 will be awarded for this quarter. So real quickly, I'll go through a couple more pictures. This is Allie. This was at the reception. We invited 6 of the youth to actually come and have their products on display. So here's Allie, our blissful baker, with her gluten-free. We have Robbie, who's 16. He designs apparel and had his beautiful dress on display. We have Javante, he's 16 from Auburn Hills. He does photography, mostly for sports. So he just started a photography business and is doing that. And then lastly, we have Lauren is one of our new award winners. She creates blankets for new infants and is working with locations where she can donate these blankets for infants. We have, Henry's one of my favorite, 3D printing business, and he's also from Milford and very involved in his community. And then finally, we have Kennedy, who's 12 from South Lyon, and she has a really nice candle business that she's doing. So with that, this is me. I would open it up for questions if I'm allowed to do that.
Questions, comments, Commissioner?
Oh, thank you. That was really something. Very inspirational. I have a few questions. So the original 250,000, was that ARPA money? Or was that from
I
our,
think it was general funds, if
General
I
fund?
understand from Hillary
Okay.
Chambers when we first signed the contract. I believe it was general funds
okay, and that was for 1 year?
for 1 year. And we're still running on that and
Okay.
about ready to add some additional funds for moving forward.
Okay, so then you said you're on 100,000
100,000 for 3 years.
each year?
Each year,
Okay, and that is also from the general fund?
correct,
And
as part of the budget.
where are you spending your money?
The money is all on grants, except
All on
for
grants,
the
okay.
administrative fee I get for running the program is 12%.
And are you an Oakland County employee?
I am not. I run a nonprofit called Leadership Oakland.
Okay, so Leadership Oakland is not, I
Not
always
part of the
kind of
county.
thought it was
No,
part of the
we are
county.
we've been around we're celebrating
I know
35 years
that.
this year. And we are an independent nonprofit with a board of directors.
That's so
Sunil is
funny.
on my board, so.
I guess I just always took for granted you were a
A
part
lot
of
of
the
people do
county.
that. Our logo's a tree. We have Leadership Oakland in our name, but no, we are an independent nonprofit.
Right,
I'm the executive director. I have 2 staff members. And then we have a board of directors of 21. So
where are your offices?
we are located in Pontiac.
Well, thank you. Learned something new.
Anything else?
All right, thank you so much for letting me give you an update. It's been really inspirational, I guess is the word I would use. Watching all these youth with some great ideas and how they wanna move
Very,
forward.
very
So,
exciting, that's
thank
great.
you so much.
Appreciate that.
It is really fun to go through those. It takes a long time, but it's really fun to go through those applications and you see kind of like the trends that kids are going through. Like so many robotics teams, so many 3D printers. The kids love 3D printers. Make sure your library has a makerspace.
I have to check into that 3D printers, I wanna see it.
Well, it's great. One, just like I think it's fun for them to like design stuff and print 3D printers. But then when you connect them into like Project Diamond and tell them that there's a tremendous like business applicability for this hobby that they have, I think it really inspires them.
Oh.
Anyway, hearing no further questions, let the record reflect that the presentation's been received. Moving on then, we have our HR items. And we've got one today. I would take a motion to recommend to the board, item 8A, implementing the salary administration plan, second quarterly report FY25. Moved by Commissioner Gershenson, seconded by Commissioner Erickson Call. Hey, folks.
Good morning. I want to take a moment to introduce to you Haley Matthews. She is the supervisor of the compensation team. It is her team that conducts the compensation salary grade review studies. And possibly in the future, she will be presenting this to you as well. So
Is a requirement of working in HR, I mean, with the exception of Sunil and April, do all of you have H names?
You'll be meeting
So well said.
Holly and Hillary.
the rest of the comp team does not have
Okay.
So in front of you today is the second quarterly report for fiscal year 25 for HR. And on this report, we have changing the salary grade of 2 classifications within the Public Services Department, creating a new classification which results in an increase in salary grade for 1 position within Parks and Rec. And then we are creating 10 new job codes for 8 for Clemis in IT, and then we are creating 2 new job codes for the HRBP classification within HR because those are moving into labor relations.
Questions? Commissioner Julia, yeah.
So this might overlap a little, but I had, on the Economic Development Committee a couple weeks ago, they had talked about forming an authority for Clemis. So it would be removing it from the county.
They're still working out the details on that. It is possible that IT will still have a section of employees that are assigned to work on that authority contract.
Okay, so even though we would be releasing the responsibility for it, we would still have employees dedicated to it?
Potentially.
If the potentially doesn't come through, do these positions all revert back to a different position?
Yes, we could reclassify them back to what they were.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'm gonna take a point of privilege, because my question was very related to that. I like what's going on with all these Clemis ones. I guess like the gist of my question is why? Like why does this need to happen? And I'm using both of my hats here. Is this marketing is the word that I hate that I'm using, but like to get a grant funding or?
No, just to be able to clearly designate those positions from the rest of IT.
But I guess what, is something broken? Is something broken in IT where we need to have Clemis specifically in a job title?
There's nothing broken in IT. It's just an organizational change to be able to clearly identify that these classifications, if it's designed so in the contract for the authority, these classifications will be assigned to the authority.
But could we not just do that without the word Clemis in their title?
It is possible, but I believe, Heather, was it an agreement with the UAW
Oh, that may be,
to pull them out?
Yeah, I think there was a desire to have distinction and clarity around which positions would be assigned in what manner. And so this is a way to clarify for employees,
Okay,
so that they have understanding around if they're in a position that's designated as such, that there is that assignment.
interesting. Okay. Commissioner, yeah.
If I may, also, you may have more than Clemis business analysts, you know what I'm trying to say? So they want to identify those particular people
Are
for
specific.
the union and for that authority,
Okay,
if need be. I know the unions always want to know who their people are. And if you give them a list of, they ask for IT business analysts, you're getting everybody, and then you're still gonna ask, well, who do they work for, what departments or whatever. So it's more of a clarifying or identifying type of a thing, I should say. It's more of identifying.
yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So I guess on that note, is this creating a new sub-department within IT?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
resounding no.
No, it's just like we have the board, but we all have our district.
Oh, okay.
We're all board of commissioners.
Sure.
But if they just want district, whatever your district is, they only want you. They don't want all 19 of us,
Got it,
so.
okay, thank you. Go ahead, no, it's fine,
Clarifying.
discussion's good.
Way to go, Lynn.
So are these IT positions working on Clemis now? Cause Clemis is the
Yes.
responsibility, okay,
Yes.
of the county currently.
Correct.
So I guess I'm a little challenged because I feel like we're putting the cart before the horse on this because they're already working on Clemis and we don't know what we're doing with the authority yet.
But in the meantime, there is there's a union agreement.
So is this change per a union negotiation going on?
Yeah, it's required to be agreed to.
So there's a negotiation going on right now that this was discussed
I
with?
believe it's settled.
Okay,
It wouldn't be on here if it weren't
Yeah.
settled.
okay.
Any other questions on the Clemis one? Otherwise, I have another question on the title.
Well, I was gonna say, when it becomes something you can talk about, bring it to us and just explain that. I mean, if it's in negotiation, I understand we're not talking about it.
And the supplemental agreements will be coming at a later date.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, now I've been reconfused. So there are labor negotiations happening related to Clemis, but we haven't even created an authority for Clemis. Is that what I'm understanding?
Not labor negotiations related to IT.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, thank you. Any other questions on the Clemis bit? No, okay, because my other one is, these are all, I understand that these are all job titles, and there may be some vacancies, but these are all like specific human beings, and like the human being names have been redacted effectively from this list. So the ones at the bottom, are we kicking them out of their union? That feels weird.
There's only one HRBP.
Oh, so the HRBPs, that was because these positions are moving into labor relations and would have that access to the employer side of negotiations.
And that's been discussed and agreed
Yes.
with the UAW. So HRBP, if you recall, was a newer role from a couple years ago, and it's been evolving over time. And we've really discovered that those positions spend a significant amount of their time working on things that pertain to labor issues. And so, we decided that that was where it made sense to house them. And the UAWs agreed that it's not a problem to move those.
Has
To
that
labor.
person, do they know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes, they do.
I'm good
And
then.
their names don't start with H either. The position does, but
Right.
their names,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Anything else, folks? Okay. Motion on the table is then to recommend to the board. Madam Clerk, would you please prompt that vote?
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Moving on, I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board item 9A, grant acceptance FY25 Michigan Invasive Species Grant, moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Kirshenson. Hello, Chris, how are you? Is Melissa here? No, Melissa's not here, okay.
Melissa let me come today.
Wow.
I have to be on my best behavior though. This is a, well, I just had it open a second ago, $69,700 grant from the state for our invasive species control program. Specifically, we're targeting this spotted lanternfly and European frogbit, as well as our normal partnership with the Road Commission for Phragmites control, and some various other outreach efforts that we do. This is a routine thing that we do every year. We're the administrator for the SISMA organization in the county that is coordinating invasive species control.
Question? Commissioner Kirshenson?
So the recommendation of what we're gonna study comes from SISMA?
They're an advisory board that we meet with, but we take the lead in the invasive species
Sure.
control, because it's our staff, and our county resources. SISMA is made up of member governments of the county, so we meet with them and we kind of have a back and forth and come to often consensus on the approach.
And that Phragmites cleanup, the partnership with the Road Commission, how is that going? Cause I keep reading that Phragmites is still a huge issue.
Yeah, it's an enormous task, and so, this, because there's another partner with the property and with some funding to bring to the table, we're able to make a dent in it, but, it's an overwhelming issue. I don't know if it's not certainly gonna be eradicated anytime soon, but we're able to control it. certain extent. I know it's a big fire hazard if you leave it out of control.
Spotted lanternfly, how, like, this is still a very new thing. Oakland County is one of 5 counties in Michigan that has it. How, like, on the scale of lemon lime to cranberry colored flags, how bad is it?
Concord grape, I don't know. Yeah, I was just reading up on it before I came up here. I mean, it sounds like Genesis was found over in Pontiac, and it is getting to be a growing problem, and they encourage people to squash them. So if you see one, smush.
What do they look like? I mean, I know what the adults look like, but how can we squash them when they're squashy?
Yeah, I don't know what they look
I
like.
could send you some pictures.
Would you?
I would, yes.
Let's do that.
Okay. If you see this, squash it.
Okay, love it. Cool. Any other questions?
It's a good,
All right.
good campaign, if you see it squashed.
You see.
I love it. Motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Awesome, thank you. I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board on 9B, authorization to proceed with preliminary planning to locate county facilities to Bicentennial Oaks. Moved by Commissioner Erickson Call, seconded by Commissioner Huffman. I'll give you that one. All right, here you go.
Okay, I won't belabor your time too much because we did have quite a conversation about this and you had testimony, I think, at your last meeting. It is, our Parks Commission did meet and voted unanimously to make this recommendation to you. They had talked about it previously, sort of gave me verbal direction, but now we have a formal motion. And really, the idea here goes back to the property just south of us right here at the courthouse, 100 and some acres, 105 acres roughly. Commissioner Nash brought a resolution that I believe the board passed at your last commission meeting that allows them to study the back half of that property as the location of the new Public Works building. It's our staff consensus, that certainly the vendor's preference, and now the commission's formal recommendation that we explore the front half of this property as a potential market site. Because when you pass that resolution handing over management of that property to us, you referred to, in that resolution, it being passive recreational uses. We just wanted to, be sure that we were operating within the desires of the commission. So this would expand that to allow us to look at the farmer's market.
Slightly more active use.
Yeah, slightly more active use, so happy to answer any questions you might have.
Commissioner Julia?
Yeah, thank you for bringing in the group the other week to explain it. That helped a lot, because obviously Waterford's disappointed. But what is the timeline for this? Do you potentially see it happening?
So 2027 is our hoped for date for construction,
Okay.
spring, summer of 2027. We've sort of been held up on the whole planning process
Right.
while we've looked at all these different location options. The vendors are eager to move forward. We do have a little bit of flexibility under that HUD grant. We don't have as tight of a time frame as the ARPA
Okay.
situation, but there's a need. We certainly have heard, and I think I heard at one of the public comments at the board, people, commenting about the lack of adequate parking and the condition of the pavement over at the existing site. So, it is our most popular facility. So the sooner we can move on it, the better.
Okay. I was just getting asked about a timeline. So your construction 2027.
2027 is I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas pedal and see if
Okay.
we can move it forward.
And then are you in charge of, or do you know anything about what will happen to the existing market?
No, it's county property, as is all of our property, actually. But my understanding is the existing site has been eyed for the Emergency Operations Center
Okay.
concept because it's behind Homeland Security there, and there is some sort of security. There's a little building over there that nobody will tell me what's in there.
Okay.
So I assume that has something to do with it. Or that's
Okay.
where the aliens are, I don't know.
Right, perfect. Okay, all right, thank you.
But I presume that would be a board decision further down the line.
Yes, well, that would be your decision,
Yeah.
obviously, and maybe wrapped up in a larger
Probably.
plan.
No one tells me. Commissioner Christensen.
So I wasn't at the last meeting, so sorry I need you to just walk me through it visually. So is it off of Telegraph and Vanguard where Water Resources wants to go in off of Vanguard?
Mhm.
And this would be
Closer to
north of that?
closer to fronting on Telegraph Road.
So it would you'd enter the market off
I think
Telegraph?
everything's conceptual right
Yeah.
now, so I don't wanna, tie us down too much, but I think our idea is to have people drive in on County Center Drive, use the cloverleaf, and that should help with the traffic flow, that rather than have people pull onto the Vanguard. And we have talked to the Haven folks who have their shelter behind there, and they are very concerned about traffic flow.
Sure.
So to the extent we use Vanguard, I think might be for like vendors or service vehicles. That's certainly what Commissioner Nash is thinking for his facility. But to really have it, the entrance way be here on the campus is the concept we've been working with.
So the entrance we pull into and you just would make a right into it?
Yeah, but just visible, from the roadway so that people know it's here. That's the big concern from the vendors.
And is it gonna be visible from Telegraph?
That's the plan, but we have not gotten anywhere near conceptual drawings or,
I thought that was a wetland.
there is some wetlands in there. There's some uplands too. There used to be an orchard on this side, that's why there was some contamination issues.
I just was wondering in terms of building on a wetland.
Yeah, there's enough uplands there, we're pretty confident.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some remediation of the lead arsenate that was found in the soil. So that'll have to be dug out and taken to a, controlled disposal site.
got it. Thank you.
Anything else? Is the grant already cash on hand?
No, another reason why having a final plan is helpful, because that's what they're waiting on is a full plan of how we're gonna utilize the money and where we're gonna utilize
Sure.
the money. They have told us that we can, move it from the original location. But, it just has to be a complete plan, so.
Okay. But like green light on that cash.
We've told that it's not been affected by anything that's
Cool.
happening in DC right now, but I think we'd all feel a little less anxiety if we had the money transferred into our bank account.
Yeah, that's how I always feel that way, yes. Anything else? All right, motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Please prompt the vote.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Awesome, great, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next thing is public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on any item at all? Going once, going twice. Anyone have anything new going on? Any other business? Any fun facts? Good stories? Oh, could
Would
we?
it be okay if I just gave a quick, because we had that exchange about special committee potentially about the Farmington project.
Yes.
Can I maybe
Sure.
just
Yeah,
give
yeah,
a
yeah.
brief?
Yep.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Just a little preview of perhaps coming attractions. There are 2 agreements that Parks Commission have approved that are coming over here. And our partner local governments they have some time sensitivity, and so I'd asked Chair if he would consider a pre-board meeting. And the issue right now is just simply getting the lawyers to finalize the language. They are partnership agreements that will allow us to, in Rochester Hills for Bloomer Park, which is a beautiful former state park, collaborate with the city in operation of that park. And then center in on the Clinton River area there, where we'll create sort of a designated space that's gonna be an Oakland County Parks property. Allow people pedestrian access, recreational access to the river. And then we hope to work with the city of Rochester to extend that area even farther down the road. In Farmington Hills, Heritage Park is the largest park in the city. It's a beautiful park. has really great facilities. And we have worked out an agreement with them where we'll take on about 2/3 of that park, call it Heritage Oaks, including the Nature Center, the large nature area behind there, the Spicer House, stables, archery range. Really complements well with our park system. I will email all of you greater detail on all of that. In each case, we would be making a upfront payment, sort of buy into some of the infrastructure that we're going to be able to utilize. And that will help those cities address other issues that they have. But it's a little different than our normal partnerships in that we're really taking two things that are really great assets and pretty strong and bringing them together, whereas we focused on revitalization type partnerships in the past. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that level, but I will be sending you much more detail. I just didn't want to catch you totally unaware on it.
So the only logistic thing is like, because we have a whole month before our next meeting, there might be a in between thing. That's fine. Questions?
Great.
All right,
Thanks.
cool, yeah. With no other business, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn. It's 9:47. What a fast